If you've spent any real time with these new generative AIs, you know the feeling. It's that strange mix of total awe, a little bit of confusion, and yeah, maybe a little bit of dread. So today, we're going to try and make sense of it all. We're using Ethan Mollick's fantastic book, Co-Intelligence, as our guide to figuring out how to live and work with this crazy new technology.
Mollick kicks his book off with this line, and you know what? He's absolutely spot on. It's that moment, probably late at night, when you're messing around with ChatGPT and it suddenly hits you. This isn't just another app. This is something new. Something, well, alien. And that feeling is exactly where our journey begins today.
So for the next few minutes, think of this as a tour of our new AI-haunted world. First, we're going to try to understand this alien mind itself. What is it, really, and how does it even work? Then we'll get into the stuff that's making people nervous and confront the risks. And finally, we'll get super practical with a set of rules for how to actually work alongside it.
Okay, let's start at the beginning. When we talk about tools like ChatGPT, we're talking about a very specific kind of AI that pretty much exploded into public view just a couple of years ago. But believe me, the road to get here was a long one.
The dream of AI, it goes way back. For decades, it was mostly about prediction. Things like figuring out the best shipping routes or what movie you might want to watch next. But everything, and I mean everything, changed in 2017 with a paper from some Google researchers. They introduced something called the transformer architecture, which was this breakthrough way for an AI to understand the context of words. And that became the rocket fuel for the generative AI that landed in all of our laps in 2022. So what is this thing technically? It's a large language model, or LLM, and at its very core, it's just a ridiculously powerful autocomplete. All it's really doing is predicting the next most likely word, or a piece of a word called a token, in a sentence. It does that by spotting patterns from a library of human text so massive it's almost impossible to comprehend.
Mollick has this brilliant way of explaining it. Think of an apprentice chef. First, the AI studies a giant cookbook, basically the entire internet. Then, it builds this huge pantry with over 175 billion connections, learning which ingredients, or words, seem to go together. It practices making dishes, compares them to the original recipes, and just keeps tweaking and refining its pantry until, bam, it's a master chef that can create brand new, coherent sentences all on its own.
And the speed of improvement is just staggering. Seriously, look at this limerick test. Back in 2021, GPT-3 gave us, well, this. It's a jumbled mess that doesn't even rhyme. Flash forward just a few years, and GPT-4 spits out a perfect, clever little limerick about itself. The jump in what it can do in such a short time is just mind-blowing.
But, and this is a huge but, this is not a human intelligence. This slide just captures its alien nature perfectly. On the left, the super powerful GPT-4 makes a boneheaded, losing move in tic-tac-toe. A kid could beat it. And yet on the right, that exact same AI can instantly write the perfect code for a flawless tic-tac-toe webpage. It fails at simple logic, but aces complex creation. This is so important to remember. We're dealing with something that thinks in a way that's fundamentally different from us.
So this weird alien quality is what makes people super excited, and also really nervous. Which brings us to our next big challenge. How do we make sure this powerful new intelligence is actually working for us and not, against us?
This is what all the researchers call the alignment problem. How do we program human values into a system that has none? How do we make sure that a machine you told to make paper clips doesn't decide that the most efficient way to do that is to turn the entire planet into paper clips?
And listen, this isn't some fringe sci-fi idea. This statement was signed by the CEOs of the very companies building this stuff. OpenAI, Google DeepMind, you name it. They are putting the risk on the same level as pandemics and nuclear war. The point is, even the people who are creating it are taking the long-term dangers incredibly seriously.
But honestly, we don't have to wait for some robot apocalypse to see the problems. They're here, right now. Think about it. These AIs are trained on copyrighted art and writing, which is a huge legal mess. They learn from us so they can pick up and even amplify our worst biases. They can be used to create totally convincing fake news and images at an insane scale. And, of course, with productivity boosts of up to 80%, they're absolutely going to shake up the job market. These are the challenges we have to deal with today.
Okay, so it is really easy to feel overwhelmed by all that. But Mollick argues that sitting around and worrying is not the answer. Instead, he gives us this really practical framework to move from fear to action. A set of rules for building our co-intelligence so we can work with AI.
Rule number 1 is simple. Just use it. Make it a habit. Because this thing is an alien mind. The only way to really learn what it can and can't do is to interact with it constantly. When you start a new project, brainstorm an idea, try to solve a problem, ask the AI. Think of it as a new member of your team that you should always bring into the conversation.
This one is so important. Be the human in the loop. You can never ever blindly trust what the AI gives you. It has no common sense, no real judgment, and it can make things up with incredible confidence. Your job is to be the editor, the fact-checker, the final boss. You bring the wisdom that it just doesn't have. You are the essential human in that loop.
Now this next one might sound a little strange, but it works. Rule 3 is to treat the AI like a person. Why? Because these models are built on language and context. So don't just give it a command. Give it a role. Tell it, act as an expert marketing consultant, or you're a friendly tutor explaining this concept. When you give it a persona, you're giving its pattern-matching brain better instructions, and you get way better, more tailored results.
And finally, the rule that really keeps you on your toes. Assume this is the worst AI you will ever use. It sounds a little dramatic, but as amazing as these tools seem right now, they are getting better at a ridiculous pace. What feels like magic today is going to seem clunky and primitive tomorrow. This mindset keeps you ready for whatever comes next.
And speaking of what comes next, where is all of this actually heading? Malik lays out 4 possible scenarios for our AI future, which is a really helpful way to think about where this road might lead.
Okay, so the first possibility is a plateau. AI development just kind of stalls out, and we all learn to live with the tools we have now. The second is gradual growth. It gets better slowly and steadily, and society can kind of absorb the changes. The third is rapid advancement, an exponential boom in what AI can do that forces us to change and fast. And the last one, well, that's AGI, artificial general intelligence. That's when AI gets smarter than us, leading to a future we literally can't even imagine.
The truth is, we have no idea which of those futures is going to happen. But what we know for sure is that we are standing right at the beginning of a completely new age. This technology is here, and it's not going anywhere. So the real question isn't if AI is going to change our world. The question is how, and what role are we going to choose to play in that story?